What is good, everybody? Uh, Another quick stop in for some thoughts on some things. I told you we had a bunch of stuff we had to go over, and this one about these here Ravens. Okay, this one hits home a little bit, and we're gonna talk about what has possibly been one of my favorite players in the league for quite a while now. So this is a big disappointment for me, and troublesome disappointment for the franchise. The Baltimore Ravens are looked at as one of the premier franchises in the NFL. Top of the line front office who runs things spick and span, clean, no issues, no nothing. And for them to be stuck in this situation after saying they have a no nonsense front office and the way they run things with the team is very troublesome, to say the least. My boy Ghost in the building. I'm not gonna put that comment up here. That is not the case, sir. This is my natural voice. But yes, glad to see you, brother. We got to get together. We got to schedule time so we can do a show together because I would love to get your thoughts on what's going on with the Ravens and where they're going in the future, especially since you're a fan. Um, so I would love to see what you think their future is. But me personally, getting back on this subject, they're in trouble, and not just because they need to find a new kicker. That's you could replace a kicker, right? Maybe not an all-time great like Justin, but you can replace a kicker in general. But the issue becomes all these years you fed your fans this thought of, oh, we're an A1 franchise. We can't take this guy or that guy or that guy because they have a checkered past. When all along you were letting Justin Tucker do whatever he wanted, and this was all brought to you and put in your face prior, and you did nothing about it. You did nothing to try to stop it. You did nothing to try to fix it. But you're convinced that what, because he's a kicker, it doesn't matter, or because he's the right skin complexion, it doesn't matter. All I know is when this happened with Deshaun Watson, the league was up in arms. Everybody was pissed. Things were flying left and right. He shouldn't be allowed to play anymore. You heard all types of things. Now, Deshaun, I believe, was found not guilty, if I'm not mistaken. So he's back in the league. But even if Justin is found not guilty, right? No matter, they have the evidence. They have the people saying it. Baltimore, you have to do something about it. And I'm not just talking about hiring another kicker. You have to, in fact, not only replace him and let him go, but you have to now open the doors and give second chances to guys that deserve it. I'm not saying you got to bring in guys that's going to be beating on women or anything stupid like that. Obviously, we avoid that stuff for a reason. And we're going to continue to avoid it. When Ray Rice got cut, he deserved it. 100%. He deserved it. And admittedly, they were going to keep him at first because when you hear, oh, me and my wife got into altercation, or me and my fiance got into altercation, we were drunk, she hit me, I hit her. It doesn't sound bad, right? But when you seen the video, it looked terrible. Even if it was, you guys are both drunk, you guys are both to blame, it looks worse when you actually see the physical contact. So you can imagine hearing these things about Justin, and then I want you to envision seeing it, right, in the eyes of the masseuse, the person that had to deal with the situation. Think of the fear in their eyes because what Justin may say about him or possibly do to him, because we don't know how he acted. For all we know, he could have been a complete animal. Now, this is just one side of the story, obviously. It could turn out that he's being set up and, all types of other stuff. But when you got this many people coming out, it's less likely to be a setup. So, and I believe Jose said it, where he said from lunch break hot take, where he said usually when you're a person making this amount of money and you find somebody you trust that's good at their job, you tend to stick with them because you can trust them and they do a good job. Why continue to go take chances and go everywhere else? And it's because you're not welcome back to that person. That's the answer. That's the obvious answer. You're not welcome back. Now, the reason this becomes an issue is because now your franchise is going to get penalized, right? They may take away draft picks. They may fine the franchise. Whatever they decide to do for punishment. If in fact you were hiding this or helping to bury this story, and then the organization decided to finally let it go because Justin Tucker had a rough year and was falling off and couldn't do what they asked of him. Let's think about that. Let's really think about that. The man's been playing on the team for how long? And this has been going on for how long? And it's been on the hush forever until now. He finally has a struggling year, right? He finally looks like he's on a decline. And all of a sudden, man, he like doing wild stuff, man. Every masseuse he go to, he leaving kids behind and all that. That's wild. That's wild. How you can't keep that from the public. You can't protect someone like that. You can't protect a person who is essentially putting someone else's life in danger, right? And then people go, "Oh, well, I guess that's why his wife left him. That's why he ended up a single man." And I think not just me, but every Ravens fan at one point looked at Justin as probably one of the most innocent beings on the face of the earth, singing opera, doing his little dances when he makes a kick, just you looked at him from the outside as if he was just a good dude being underpaid because kickers are underpaid. I don't care what anybody says. But now you get a dose of reality. They say never meet your heroes. And it's a good thing ain't no female Ravens fans get to meet Justin Tucker. Because based off of what we're hearing, it wouldn't have been a good meeting. You wouldn't even been able to get him to keep his clothes on. I'm starting to wonder if he was at Diddy parties. You think he was at Diddy parties? I think he was at Diddy parties. I'm just going to put that out there. He was at Diddy parties. Ain't no way. Ain't no way he wasn't. He a freak. So he had to be. Right? But all jokes aside, it's disturbing. It's disturbing for us as fans. Fans of the game, just as disturbing as it was when we heard about Deshaun Watson. And what makes it more disturbing is the thought that the franchise covered it up. I can't speak enough on how deeply it hurts a team and a fan if, in fact, the franchise was covering up something of this magnitude. Now, if they go say, "Oh, we investigated it at the time and we found nothing wrong," so we talked to him, we gave him a warning, we let it go, and then what? He just did a better job at covering it up after. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's heartbreaking. It's and because I think it hurts more because it's still ongoing, all the investigations, and I can only imagine how the victims felt because that's what they are. They are victims, right? If and I, as a Ravens fan, want to apologize to the victims personally, because I've been cheering this man on every Sunday, not knowing what he's doing to people, and it just feels wrong. It feels wrong to know that. Like I said, it hurts a bit. Um, but to move on from him, he's gonna get what's coming to him, and you know it is what it is from there. Now going forward, the Baltimore Ravens, their future, and this is something I gotta have Ghost come back and do a show with me on. I don't foresee a Super Bowl in the Ravens' future. Now I'm going way off subject here. I'm going way to a different conversation. All right, we're going to talk about the future of the Ravens. I don't see a Super Bowl in their future, not as long as John Harbaugh is the head coach. I don't care what coaches you bring in, anything. At the end of the day, you're still running a system loosely based on what he ran, and you're still answering to John Harbaugh. So when he gets in those situations, 2-point conversions, guess what? He's going to call the same play on the same half of the field to the same player. And as fans, there's nothing we can do. As a coordinator, there's nothing you can do. As a DC, there's nothing you can do. Only one person or two people can do something about John Harbaugh. That's his best friend EDC, and that's Mr. Bisciotti. Right? They're the only ones that can say, "Hey, John, we're closing the door on this chapter." How long do you have to go as a head coach for a single franchise without winning a championship, without being a significant playoff threat or Super Bowl threat, to be considered to be let go, right? To be considered for termination. And he was going to be let go in 2018. Luckily for him, a certain Lamar Jackson changed the way the franchise was going. And it wasn't even Lamar fully. It was lucky for him, Joe Flacco got hurt. Because we all know, with his level of stubbornness, if Joe doesn't go down, Joe finishes out the season. We don't make the playoffs, and Lamar doesn't get his start to the year after with a brand new head coach. Like, if we could rewrite history, if we rewrote history, that's how it would go. Lamar would be your starter in 2019, but because we brought in a new head coach, and actually, he might not even be the starter. Because if you look at it, he got passed over by so many people, and so many people thought he shouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. So Joe Flacco doesn't get hurt. Are we looking at Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens jersey today? Or does the new guy come in and say, "Nah, I want this guy," and pick a new QB the following year? I don't know. But Lamar Jackson gets his shot. Turns out to be extremely dope, like we all knew he was. And lo and behold, here we are, 2025. Lamar just got screwed out of his third MVP. And he's going to be back in the MVP conversation again next year. But the question is, will it be with a winning team? Will you be an actual Super Bowl threat? Are we looking at the same weapons? Are you bringing in another wide receiver? Are you shoring up the offensive line? There's some good O-line talent out there this year, and I hope we draft well. I hope we draft smart, right? We don't need 11 draft picks. Trade some of them, move up, get the guys we want, not the guys that fall to us. There's a big difference. So if we can get the guys we want, that'll be huge. That'll be tremendous, right? We get our guys, we shore up the O-line, because I don't want to see Falele out there again. But no disrespect, but a lot of Falele tape is him looking for something to do because he has no clue. I don't want to see that again. That's and I think the Ravens failed to take in the aspect of Lamar Jackson making the O line look better, right? And they think we don't know that that's what's going on, and they think we're dumb enough to say, "Oh well, PFF ranked us, however high, so it's got to be a good O line, right?" Wrong. You want to see a good O line? Go look at the Eagles. Hell, go look at the Panthers. You want to see a good O line? Look around the league. There's a ton of teams with good O lines, and we're not one of them. Ravens are not one of them. So, Baltimore, get your stuff together. I still love you. Um, Still gonna always support this franchise no matter what. But a few things that's tough to deal with. Okay, the future is in question. We'll go further in depth about that in another stream. I'm gonna end this here. Again, the Ravens got a Justin Tucker problem. They need to fix it. Thank y'all for coming through. Whether you watching a video live, whether you watch me live or you watching a video afterward, I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.